Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And thank you to those who are here and those who are tuning in remotely tonight. Michelle, do we have any agenda changes?
We do have an updated personnel report and I provided a copy for the board members with just a couple highlights to that, so that it's been updated since I posted the agenda.
Thank you very much. Is anyone here tonight wishing to address the board on agenda related public comment? Okay. Michelle, do we have any communications?
I do. I received something from the New York State School Boards Association this week. The New York State School Boards Association Boards Excellence Recognition Program is designed to acknowledge those school board members who strive to continually expand their governance, knowledge, and skills. 4 Watertown City School District board members have earned the Board Excellence Recognition Award, ranging from level 1 to level 4. These achievement levels are reached when the board members accumulate points for participating in NYSBA training, workshops, events, and activities. These awards go to Lori Converse, Randy Richardson, Jason Harrington, and Cully Gold.
Let's move right into reports. We'll start with the policy committee meeting.
I got you.
John King has it. Okay.
So we spent a lot of our time talking about the new requirement to have a student board of education member. And we have to have a policy in place by August 1st. And there were 2 applicants. One of them was promising, one was less so. And so we're moving forward with a more promising applicant. That policy will be up here in the next meeting or 2. Like I said, the plan at this point is to have our successful applicant attend the reorganizational meeting, do a little meet and greet so all of our board members get a chance to meet this student who had a wonderful interview process and had a wonderful application. So we'll move forward with that. The remainder of the bulk of our time was spent on the new cell phone policy that came out in the state budget. Dr. Schmiegel and our assistant superintendents are working through all of our stakeholders. That's part of the requirements of the law, is that all the stakeholders have to have a say in the new cell phone policy, the bell-to-bell restriction on cell phones. Met with the student group yesterday or today, and we'll meet with the union presidents as well as the administrators and the educators before something comes forward on that. So a lot of discussion on that, what that'll look like for us. We have some leeway as a district on how we can implement that and trying to figure out how to do it and do it cost effectively. Did I miss anything on that?
The only thing I'd add with the student one is that Michelle and I have been working with this, but to ask them to create a similar to the courses that you guys have taken, a student board member course. So we're working with them on trying to get that all students would benefit from that. And the cell phone policy ban is a law that must be in place in September. Because of the timeline's kind of tight, only because it has to be implemented by August. We have one board meeting in July. And so that would be the last opportunity to have policy provided. We did meet with the students yesterday. They gave amazing feedback. We had 19 students. Tina and I spoke with them. They gave great feedback. You know, part of the law, you have to have the phone secure. And it can either be in a locker. Not all of our, Wiley, for example, has lockers, but no locks. And some issues possibly at the secondary schools for the kids not using those lockers. So we discussed some strategies for that. Right now we're utilizing a red light, green light strategy for cell phones, particularly at the high school. That would not necessarily be allowed under the new law. And so we're looking at that. And the students also discussed some consequences One of the things that the law is clear on regarding the cell phones is that an out-of-school suspension cannot happen as a result of a cell phone. So we're looking at trying to work with the kid, work with the parent, and making sure that our kids are complying with that new requirement. The phones can be used based on the teacher's permission regarding educational purposes. We have kids, and this was brought up when Tina and I read the cell phone conversation with the student advisory last year's group. We have kids that have medical needs. There is a provision in the law for students to use cell phones for that, and any student that has an IEP or a 504 plan.
As well as the ELL students.
And ELL for translation services.
So did we only have 2 applicants for the student or
Yes.
only?
Many of the kids are struggling because of the 2 board meetings a month and athletics and extracurricular.
So was it? So there weren't more and just 2 qualified? It
Just
was
2
simply
applied.
2 applied?
To apply.
Wow. And when were those interviews held?
2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. The applications were due the week we got back from spring break. So they had a few months to apply, and it was on the morning announcements.
I think it's something kids are gonna have to see before they can kind of recognize what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think it'll gain speed over the years. See more applicants.
I mean, there's just a lot of interest in the student advisory council and the student, I'm just really surprised that there's only 2 people who applied. But
Young man, that will be moved forward. It was he did an amazing job. We asked him great questions on how he's going to advocate, not just for the high school, but.
so he already knows who he is?
I have not said anything to
Okay.
him because I wanted to bring it to the board.
Sure,
tonight, so.
sure.
Anything else for John? Okay.
Oh, and Lori wanted me to be clear. She apologizes she couldn't be here. It is her son's last varsity lacrosse game on the turf, so she wanted to go and support her son, so. She forgot that part. She was very adamant about it. Let everybody know that.
Thank you. Okay, Superintendent of Schools report.
I just I have some notes that I put down that I want to read to the community regarding last night's budget. Thank every member of our community who participated in this year's school budget process. The approval of the 25-26 school budget, the supporting propositions, the election of 2 Board of Education members mark more than just outcomes. They reflect the enduring importance of public education in the life of our community. Our schools are not just buildings. They are the heartbeat of Watertown. They carry our traditions, our hopes, and the duty to prepare the next generation. While we may walk different paths and hold different views, I believe we all share one truth, that our children deserve every opportunity possible to thrive. As the superintendent, I remain steadfast that when we come together, even in disagreement, we can still build something greater because we are bound to have a common cause. It goes back to our district's motto, our children, our future. The next thing that I wanted to mention was the Wiley Spring music concert. If you had the opportunity, the last 2 nights we've been there. We had the 6th grade performance the first night. Last night was the 5th grade performance. They did an outstanding job. Today I had the opportunity of chaperoning NISMA majors with Mrs. Fonce and many other parents that were able to support that initiative today. And proud to mention that the students under the direction of Mrs. Fonce did bring home a gold award. And similar to last year, our 2nd board meeting in June, Tina's office sent out the invitations today. The 2nd board meeting in June, our board meeting, the prior to the meeting at 5:30, our board members will have an opportunity to thank all of our teachers and staff who are retiring in the district. And we've invited Mrs. Fonce back and her fine ensemble students to sing for our retirees. I don't know if you want to add anything to the retirees piece now that I put it out there.
We have 18 this year and all of those folks have done a great service to the district. So we're looking forward to honoring them 17th of June, right here in this room.
This room, 5:30.
Yes, 5:30.
We'll also use the atrium. The next thing I just want to mention is you've heard me say at every meeting, so it's not going to be a loss, but FEMA and Department of Homeland Security, we have applied for the HGMP grant, the Homeland Security. And the idea with that is that they will pay for the testing for the mitigation portion. Anything that we can use as far as grant funds obviously reduces the cost in our capital project of the 110 million. And so that application was submitted ahead of the deadline. We did get a positive email asking for additional information. And what we were led to believe yesterday, Bree and I had that meeting, was they don't typically reach out once they're on their application. So we want to remain hopeful. Anything that we can get out of the Department of Homeland Security as far as mitigation efforts reduces the taxpayer burden to our taxpayers. So we're excited about that. In addition to that, there are 3 grants that we're through public assistance through FEMA, and 2 of the applications are very near submittal. So we're excited about that, and our FEMA and Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services team have done a wonderful job. Bree and I have been meeting with them every 2 weeks since August 9th when that storm happened. And so we're hoping to bring that to a closure soon. It is critically important that that comes to a closure because as we begin the kickoff for our capital project of that 110 million, what we need is to know what dollar and cents are going to be paid for through FEMA and Department of Homeland Security so that we can remove those and look at alternative projects for those facilities that were impacted. Just as a reminder, that was the high school, that was Case and North Elementary School. And that concludes my.
Thank you. Items for consent agenda.
Resolved that consent agenda items A, B, and C are hereby approved.
Motion, please.
John?
John, a second.
No.
Millie, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any questions? Motion carries. Items for board action.
Whereas the inspectors of the election for the annual school district election and budget vote held on May 20, 2025, have delivered to the clerk of the Board of Education their signed statements and reports of votes cast at said election budget vote. And such statements and reports have now been examined and canvassed as follows. Approval of the 25-26 school budget, proposition number 1, total number of votes, 856. Yes votes, 574. No votes, 282. Approval of capital reserve fund, proposition number 2. Total number of votes, 849. Yes votes, 663. No votes, 186. Approval of furniture reserve fund, proposition number 3. Total number of votes, 846. Yes votes, 632, no votes, 214. Approval of security proposition number 4. Total number of votes, 851. Yes votes, 689, no votes, 162. For members of the Board of Education, Michael Struchin, 279. Kristen Labarge, 194. Melanie Stano, 305. Anna Sherrill, 162. Holly Gosier, 512, write-ins, 62. Therefore, be it resolved that the 2025-26 proposed budget and elected Board of Education members have been approved by the qualified voters of the school district, and be it further resolved that Holly Gosier and Melanie Stano are declared the elected members of the Board of Education. They will each serve a 3-year term commencing July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2028. The district clerk and the superintendent of schools have notified the successful candidates and will send written confirmation.
Can I have a motion, please? Tina, a second? John, any discussion?
Congratulations, Colleen.
Yeah, Colin.
Thank you, thank you. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Whereas the Watertown City School District requires architectural services for the 2025 capital improvement project. And whereas the district has determined that it will use King and King Architects as its architect for its 2025 capital improvement project. And whereas the Board of Education seeks to authorize the superintendent to execute any necessary documents on its behalf to approve the final contract between the district and King Architects for the district's 2025 capital improvement project. Now, therefore, the Board of Education of the district hereby authorizes the superintendent to execute any necessary documents on behalf of the Board of Education to approve the final contract between the district and King Architects for the 2025 capital improvement project in a form approved by legal counsel. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Motion, please. Millie, a second?
Yeah.
John, any discussion?
Yeah, I have one question, I think. So on the cover of this, it says the construction manager is to be determined. And I believe, I don't know if you did, but I know that the board members got a letter from Mr. Fiorentino. Anthony? He requested to meet with the board and do a proposal. I guess the question is, are we gonna have an RFP proposal for construction management? Being that it was noted on there that it's to be determined, and is there gonna be an RFP process? I guess that's my question.
So the district's position would be no, unless the board wants to go in a different direction. Our concern is with having a new director of facilities. I mean, I've been here 2 years. I don't have 20 years history of the district as the facilities. Our current construction manager has been with the district over 20 years. The historical knowledge that he's been able to provide to our new director of facilities, our interim director of facilities, bringing myself through the FEMA process, Department of Homeland Securities, we do believe that if we reset and go out for a new RFP, that it would be a disadvantage and push the staging as far as the project down possibly a year or so further than when we would originally start. So we're not recommending it unless the board wants to go in that direction.
So according to the contract here, there would not be any groundbreaking until 2028, right?
Yes,
Okay.
the planning already starts now. Remember, it
Right.
takes
I
state
saw,
ads.
yeah, I read the contract. So my only comment is that, you know, we are obliged to like see every 3 years, we have to have a new, we have to put out RFPs for auditors. That's part of the things that we have to do. And I understand your position. My only comment would be, if you put out an RFP and you give other people an opportunity to present, we might see something there that is beneficial, but at the same time, if our current construction managers, we felt like they were still qualified, we could still pick. But Fiorentino is local, and I think that, you know, as a district, we really need to start trying to keep our dollars local, and giving people opportunities for an RFP process would be an equal opportunity for everybody. But if I'm not going to be here anymore, so if the whole board wanted to decide that you want to keep the same person, that would be your choice. That's just my input. And I saw that it was to be determined, so I thought I'd bring that up. I mean, I know that there was a couple of people who like to see an RFP proposal. That's, you guys can decide. That's just my input on that.
What's the latest that we need to know? Could we wait until the full board is present and just have a discussion about it?
But, and there's gonna be another opportunity because right now our current construction manager is putting a contract together for Jeff Lewis, the board's attorney. So, I mean, there'll be another opportunity to see that presentation and to approve it or not. I think the bigger concern I had was the historical knowledge
Yeah.
base. That right now, our architect's been with us a few years now. But when you look at the historical knowledge of our buildings, you know, all of these additional minor capital projects, our current construction manager has the most knowledge that brings to the table. That would be a disadvantage if you lost that person.
I'd like to just hear everybody, if we could.
The other thing too is with this community, like all the local people know what's gone on within these school districts. They all talk to each other. We have King and King who have been with us forever. And I think that's important too. But I just think it's important to just see what else can be offered. You guys may decide you still want to stay with who we have. You know, Kyle's a good guy. No one has anything to say about him, and he has been very instrumental, super helpful. He's here all the time. I have nothing bad, but I just feel like when local people ask if they can present a proposal, I think we should be fair about it. That's just my position. Mhm.
So we still approve this one?
I can put it, this one I would say yes, because it has nothing to do. with
Yeah.
the-
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Construction
nothing to
manager,
do, yeah.
right?
Okay, I don't wanna do the wrong thing.
This one we definitely want to
Yeah.
approve like ASAP, because what happens after this is signed is we're gonna prepare a letter of intent to the state, and before that letter of intent is completed, we can't move forward with the 100%.
Did you get did you get an email from Anthony?
Yeah, that name sounds familiar, but there was
Sure.
another name that also emailed.
Okay. I know that I know all of us got an email from Fiorentina, but that's the only one we
No,
got.
that one, there was another one, another guy,
I don't know.
yeah, Pete Clough.
Okay, so people
Yes.
have reached out to you. Okay. Alright.
Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Whereas after public advertising for items for the school nutrition department, bids have been received and are hereby awarded for the furnishing of the following products for the 25-26 school year. Milk and juice, Frenzy Food Service, Watertown, New York. Paper and supplies, Hill and Marks, Amsterdam, New York. Resolved that the Assistant Superintendent for Operations and Finance is authorized to issue the orders accordingly.
Motion please.
John.
John, second.
Yeah.
Tina, any?
Yes, I don't know that you know this, but Renzi Food Service is no longer in existence. So that needs to be corrected legally because it's now US Foods. So that needs to be, right, they're no longer in existence. Yeah, so well, I'm not sure, did we get a contract from them that says Renzi Food Service?
It's quite possible Mary just didn't change the name on it. On the
Yeah.
paperwork.
It's been 2
It's
years.
the same company, they just got bought out by US.
I mean, I don't know if you can we still approve that with the wrong name on it?
I think you just need to maybe
I can
amend it.
amend it.
Yeah.
And it is Millie, refresh my memory.
US Food.
US Foods, okay.
And Nikki Roy is still the contact person there, so her name is on here. And she's still employed by US Foods, but the company is US Foods.
So with the amendment, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
On the presentation and recommendation of Dr. Larry Schmiegel, Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Mark Ruiz is appointed as hearing officer to conduct an employee disciplinary hearing pursuant to Civil Service Law, Section 75, to make a record of the hearing and to submit a written report to the Board of Education of findings and recommendations related to said disciplinary proceeding.
Motion please. Gina, a second.
John.
John, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Larry Schmiegel, the Board of Education hereby approves the following: resignations, retirement, leaves of absence, probationary appointments, probationary instructional, appointments, term non-probationary instructional, probationary non-instructional, permanent part-time, extended school year special ed, summer service, summer school food service, summer school, and substitutes non-instruction.
Motion please.
Millie.
Millie, a second. Yeah, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Larry C. Schmiegel, the agreement dated May 6, 2025, to extend the probationary period of an instructional employee. The probationary period is hereby extended to and including August 31, 2026, in accordance with the terms of and conditions set forth in the agreement signed by the superintendent, the instructional employee, and the Watertown Education Association President is hereby approved.
Okay, motion please.
John.
John, a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Resolved that the students' trips as presented to the board hereby approved.
Motion please.
John.
John, Millie, any discussion?
Black River Outdoor Education Program is a phenomenal program and these kids are gonna have so much fun there.
All right, all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
The end of the resolution.
Okay. Anyone here tonight wishing to address the board on non-agenda related public comment?
I just have a quick question then. Micron in the news recently and I know if we'll still be working with the high school on training.
Absolutely. We're actually moving to we have 10th grade and 11th grade next year that are going to be picked up with Micron. So we're excited and we're expanding our course offerings with Micron. We're excited about that.
That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Kim.
It's nice to see you back.
Okay, that's upcoming dates. Thursday, May 22nd is the Case Spring Concert #2. Friday, May 23rd, the district is closed. Monday, May 26th is Memorial Day and the district is closed as a result. May 27th, which is a Tuesday, is early dismissal for staff development. And Tuesday, June 3rd, the regular Board of Education meeting right here in our district office. All right, no.
Short meeting. Yeah. No controversies today.
John, what you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, short. I don't think we've ever had one this short, at least while I've been on the board. I was able to attend the Case Spring Concert #1. The kids did phenomenal. We have such talented young artists, musical artists. It was amazing. I did get to catch the art show after the last board meeting. And once again, we just have some kids that are excelling in so many different ways, and it's just so nice to see. So very, very proud of what our district is doing, and lots of good things going on in Watertown, and this budget is going to help to do even more good things for our students.
I have a couple things. I also saw the Case and the Wiley concerts. And I'll tell you what, some of those kids are definitely prone to be on stage because they are just exceptional. And I have to tell one story of one little boy that's in the ensemble and in the choir chorus. And I had him, he was at North when I was there, and he was a little rough around the edges. And he had a hard time, and whatever, he melded with the teacher and moved up, and he is now playing an instrument, singing in the chorus, and I was so proud of him. It was awesome just to see how music can just totally make somebody bloom. It was phenomenal. I also had the honors of doing the senior portfolios. I love every minute of that. Those kids I could sit and talk to for hours. I only get 15 minutes and I have to learn to keep my mouth shut because I just want to ask questions. And then I get in trouble because we're over time. Dee Shear deserves a huge shout out for all that she does for the students and organizing these and all the time she gives up to get them ready. And I think she does a great job. And thank you for people who voted for the budget. I think that our kids are really going to benefit, and that makes me happy. So
I forgot to mention one of the students. So yesterday we were at the concert yesterday, and this one girl center stage looked like she was about to take off. And I was like, I just envisioned Lori like running after her. And she walked by us when she left, and Miss Fluno actually stopped her and said, "Someday you should be on a stage acting." And you would have thought somebody turned on multiple light switches. She was so excited. She goes, "I want to be on the stage. I want to act. It was nice to see the kids and how exciting and how phenomenal they were, and amazing teachers that donated their time to be there at both of those concerts because they did a great job. We've got a lot of talent heading up to Case next year.
sure do. Yes, Mrs. Fonts and Mrs. Hurst did an exceptional job. That's it.
Okay. I just think we all pass our thanks on to Mrs. Swanson. Everybody feels that way, and from Russ and Lori have always been very special, not only to me but to everybody. And I was once one of those rough around the edges kids, and that's putting it very nicely.
Yes.
In My grandmother once said to the phone, says, I really don't know where Jason would be without the two of you. So they continue to affect all these lives and I think that it's great. That's it. That's it. And everybody,
Oh, nice to see.
go have a nice evening. So. I'll take-
33 minutes.
33 minutes. I'll take a motion to end. Tina in a second.
John.
All right, John, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you next time.